Hello, and welcome to another episode of my 30 plus decks. Today I'm going to be using a newer commander from Bloomburrow, Lumra, Bellow of the Woods. So Lumra is a 6 cost, it's 4 and 2 green. Its power and toughness is each stars because it has an ability. Lumra's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Otherwise, it's a elemental bear, has vigilance and reach, and when it enters, I mill 4 cards, then return all lands from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So pretty much what I'm going to be trying to do is get out a bunch of lands that I can sacrifice and search for more lands. Even though this is a monocolored deck, I want to have a bunch of lands that I can sacrifice to search for more lands, and then when Lumra comes out, all of my lands that are in my graveyard are able to come back to the battlefield so that I can sacrifice them and search for more lands. I have a couple of other instances in the deck to try and get all of my lands from the graveyard to the battlefield. I have a number of search cards to just get lands to my hand. I think that I might have a couple of cycle lands in this deck, which is also nice. And other cards that have landfall effects, of course. I'm trying to get just a whole bunch of lands to enter all at the same time. And I think finally, when Lumra enters, I mill 4 cards. If I happen to mill 4 cards that are not lands, I do have a couple of ways to get those cards back. So all around, just kind of a fun green deck. It is a 6 cost, but green typically doesn't have a problem with that. Let's see if I can show it off. I know that I'll be having fun. Hope that you will too. There we go. I've already got my hand ready, so let's go. Turn 1. Draw. Land. Pass. 2. Land. Sorry, draw. Now land. I actually could have and should have done this one first, but it actually doesn't matter. Broker's Hideout. When it enters, I sacrifice it, and I search for a basic forest, plains, or island, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. I gain 1 life. I don't have any basic plains or islands in this deck, of course, so searching for just that forest. I'm going to get this forest. And again, I'm not using sleeved decks. This will come to an end, I promise. By the next time that I will be showing off this deck, it will be sleeved. It'll probably have some nice, pretty green sleeves. Yeah. Don't know if I want to go, probably not a lime green or anything like that. Probably a nice deep forest green. Okay. Let's go to turn 3. Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm fine with that. Let's go with this land for turn. I will tap 3, cast a cultivate. So I search for up to 2 basic lands. Bam. One of them goes on the battlefield tapped. The other one goes to my hand. And then I will shuffle. That secures my land drop for next turn. Otherwise, I'll be honest, I didn't have a land drop for next turn. But Cultivate's just a staple. Just like very similar to Kadama's Reach. The main difference is Kadama's Reach is an arcane spell, which has its own benefits, I guess. Draw that, or that goes to hand, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand. Let's go to turn 4. Draw. Okay. I guess I could start gaining a little bit of life. I've got 4, it will be 5 to work with. So no, let's go this instead. Land for turn. Tapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To cast Gauntlet of Power. Now Gauntlet of Power is a great one, but it is one that I choose this and it affects everybody's stuff. So I choose green. Whenever creatures of the chosen color get +1/+1. So everybody's green creatures gets +1/+1. Whenever a basic land is tapped for a mana of the chosen color, its controller adds 1 mana of that color to his or her mana pool. So right now I've got 5 basic forests, and I will be able to tap for at least 10 mana next turn. Let's go to turn 5. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay. Now, I think I will just start off with this 2/4, and I will cast Harmonize. I draw 3 cards. I guess here is a Rogue's Passage for my land for turn. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and I will cast a Kodama's Reach. It's like I was just mentioning the card. It's a Sorcery Arcane, but yeah, that really doesn't matter right now. I search for up to 2 basic lands. So here's one, and here's another. It's so interesting that this one is covered in snow literally in its art, but it is not a snow-covered land. I'm not arguing. It's just silly. Let's go ahead and put this one on the battlefield tapped. The other one goes to my hand. I will tap this forest for an Explore. I may play an additional land this turn, and I draw a card. And I have another land to play. Thank you, Kodama's Reach. Let's go ahead and tap both of these. I will have one floating. That will be for a Llanowar Tribe. 3/3 Elf Druid. I can tap for 3 green. That was quite a bit, wasn't it? Now, let's go to turn 6. Untap, upkeep, draw. Land for turn. Let's go 2, 4, 6. Cast Lumra. When Lumra enters, I mill 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. 3 of those were not lands. 1 of those was a land. Enters the battlefield tapped, as well as this Broker's Hideout, which was the only other land. Broker's Hideout enters the battlefield tapped, but when it enters, I sacrifice it, and I search my library for a basic forest, yet again. Here we go. And then Gauntlet of Power is also giving Lumra +1/+1. So that's cool. So that makes Lumra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lumra is a 12/12 Vigilance Reach by turn 6. I'd say that's pretty good. How much do I have to work with? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to work with. I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of interesting stuff. That's 1, 2, 3. And I will cast Staff of the Wild Magus. Whenever I cast a green spell or a forest enters the battlefield under my control, I gain a life. It's simple. It's not a need, but I like it. Then let's tap 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I'm only going to be using 10 of it, but that will be for a Tree Shaker Chimera. That's an 8/5. All creatures able to block it must do so, and when it dies, I draw 3 cards. And for a Spinner of Souls. 4/3 Reach. Whenever another non-token creature I control dies, I may reveal the top cards from the top of my library until I reveal a creature card. Put that card into my hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order. Let's see. That's technically 2 green spells. I'm gaining 2 life. I could also choose to swing with Lumra because it's a Vigilance Reach, but no trample. As a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. That's okay. Let's move to this final turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Land for turn. It's a forest, so I gain a life. 2, 4, 6, 8 to cast Terastodon. 9/9. When it enters the battlefield, I may destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Now, technically, I could do that on myself. You just destroy 3 of my forests, get 3 elephants, and then try and just draw into a card that gets all of my land from my graveyard to the battlefield. Even if I did, I would leave Lumra at, that was 12, so 13, 12, 11, 10. Lumra would still be a 10/10. Interesting. I think I'll do it. I'll destroy 3 of my own forests. I don't have an elephant token on hand. That's alright. I will use 3. Or this to represent my 3 3/3s. Something like the big ears, there's the head, another big ear. He has kind of the trunk that goes to the snout. And he's got those tusks. Something like that. And let's give him a body. Here, elephant enough from the front. Let's see. What else can I do? 1, 2, 3. And I will cast a Hydra's Growth on Lumra. I'm pretty sure I'll get Trample eventually. Hydra's Growth, when it enters, I put a 1/1 counter on the enchanted creature. And on my upkeep, I double the number of 1/1 counters on the enchanted creature. Then I think I will move to combat. I will declare attack with my Tree Shaker Chimera and my Lumra, both at the same person. Before damage is dealt, I will tap this forest for 2 green and cast Overprotect, targeting Lumra. Target creature I control gets +3/+3, gains Trample, Hexproof, and Indestructible until the end of turn. This is Blore the Impervious. It's a shame that we didn't actually get Blore as a creature. Maybe next time. Anyways, that makes Lumra, I believe, 10, so that's back up to a 13/13. Trample, Hexproof, Indestructible, Vigilance, Reach. But that 1/1 counter means it's a 14/14. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 because of its 1/1 counter. Yes. So it's a 14/14 Vigilance, Reach, Trample, Hexproof, Indestructible. And my Tree Shaker Chimera is also swinging in. I'm planning on this dying. And Lumra would be swinging in unblocked because all creatures had to block the Tree Shaker Chimera. Now, let's see. Do I want to draw 3 cards or reveal cards? I don't know. Let's just start off with the reveal. Ooh, okay. Okay. That's a creature. So Axebane Ferox will go to my hand, and I guess the 3 cards that I would have drawn, it's not the worst thing in the world. So these ones go on the bottom in a random order. I already forgot the order. And then I will draw 3 cards. Okay, not the best, I'll be honest. Let's see. I'll just tap Llanowar Tribe since I've already attacked for 3 green, casting Yorvo, Lord of Garenbrig. Yorvo enters the battlefield with 4 1/1 counters. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under my control, I put a 1/1 counter on Yorvo. Then, if that creature has greater power than Yorvo, I put another 1/1 counter on Yorvo. I'll tap these 2 for 4 mana, and I will cast Axebane Ferox. It's a 4/4 Death Touch Haste, has Ward, Collect Evidence 4, which is very interesting. That is another green creature entering, so Yorvo gets his 5th counter. My 4/4 is not bigger, so he does not get an extra counter. I'm pretty sure that I've played that land because I've mentioned it multiple times, so that would be that turn. That was pretty great. I could have gotten Lumra out earlier, but I think that doing Gauntlet of Power into a whole bunch of ramp and nonsense was the better call. So that was fun. I'd say that was great. Well, and my hand was 2 forests, so had those land drops. Let's go again. Now this one I'm trying to keep as just kind of a simple deck. I definitely like it as a simple deck. It does exactly what I'm trying to do, but I mean, Staff of the Wild Mages is not a need. I'm just casting so many green spells and getting so many forests that it's a little bit silly. I was a little bit upset about that Quilled Great Worm getting milled, but that's whenever a creature I control deals combat damage during my turn, it doesn't even have to be to a player. I put that many 1/1 counters on it, so Lumra just gets exponentially huge. Cast this card from your graveyard by removing 6 counters from among creatures you control in addition to paying its other costs. I've mentioned it to friends, you could remove -1/-1 counters because it does not say which counters. It could be removing bad counters from your creatures to cast this Quilled Great Worm from your graveyard. It is supposed to be 1/1 counters. It's implying for it to be 1/1 counters, but I mean, it doesn't have to be 1/1 counters. It's very cool. There's so many lands. I think that I have 42 at least in this deck. Not all of them are basic, definitely, because the ones that are searching are the non-basic lands. I also am pretty sure that I have a Multani, Yavamaya's Avatar, I think that's what its name is, which is same cost as Lumra, actually. But his power and toughness is equal to the number of lands I control and the number of lands in my graveyard. So he's very strong. Can be very strong. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He also has trample initially, I'm pretty sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very cool. Recognize a lot of these cards, but I did shuffle, so let's go. 1. Draw. Broker's Hideout. Sacrifice that immediately. Search for a basic forest. Enters tapped. I technically gain a life, even though I'm not keeping track for this deck. Okay. I cannot wait until all of my decks are sleeved. I cannot tell you. Cannot tell you enough. Let's go to turn 2. Untap, upkeep, draw. Land. Nothing really to do with it, so let's go to turn 3. Draw. Land. Tapping 3. Staff of the Wild Mages. It came back to me. Turn 4. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay. Let's go with the land. This I'm actually not sure if I'm getting Lumra out before turn 6, but I mean, I didn't do that last turn, so last game. Interesting. Let's try it. Green and 1. No. I need a creature. Green, green, and 2. Axebane Ferox. It came back to me. Let's go to turn 5. Untap, upkeep, draw. Land for turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a shame. Let's go like this. Green and 1, like I was thinking about doing last turn. Malevolent Rumble. Reveal the top 4 cards of my library. I may put a permanent card from among them into my hand, put the rest into my graveyard, and then I create a 0/1 Eldrazi. So, hold on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Land, non-land, non-land. No. Okay, so I'm okay with these forests going to the graveyard, which means Quilled Great Room, which I was just talking up, or Norwood Priestess, tap to put a green creature from my hand onto the battlefield. Oh, man. Oh, of course, I can cast this from my graveyard by removing the 6 counters. So let's put the Quilled Great Worm into that graveyard. Norwood Priestess into my hand. I'm not actually sure how many counters I'm going to be able to put on, but let's see. 0/1 spawn. Coming up. It's my spawn. That was also me gaining a life from Landfall at the beginning of the turn and gaining a life by casting a green spell. I'm just not keeping track of it very intently. Well, dang. I could technically get out Norwood Priestess right now, and then it wouldn't even matter if I get a land next turn or not. I have things to do. I think that sounds fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Norwood Priestess. Let's go to turn 6. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Okay. Then with that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I drew into a Harmonize so I can draw more cards, and I think that I might. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to get more lands, honestly. 1, 2, 3. Got one. So let's go land for turn. And this guy has Trample. You might have heard of him before. I'm going to tap Norwood Priestess and Galta, Primal Hunger. 12/12 doesn't even, that ability doesn't even matter because I just put him from my hand onto the battlefield. 12/12 Trample, which is the important part, I think. It is not casting a spell, so I'm not gaining a life, but that's fine by me. Let's go to turn 7. Untap everything. Upkeep. Draw. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Casting Lumra. When he enters the battlefield, I mill 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. That will be then returning this forest, this Riveteer's Onlook, both of these forests, and this Broker's Hideout to the battlefield. Tapped. Both the Riveteer's Outlook and the Broker's Hideout get immediately sacrificed. I search for one of them is the forest, plains, or island. The other one is swamp, mountain, or forest. Both of them, you already know, it's going to be forests. Here we go. 2 forests. Enter tapped. I gain 2 life from the Broker's Hideout and the Riveteer's Outlook. And then Overlook. And then I also gain a total of 4 more life because of the Staff of the Wild Mages, seeing 4 more forests entering the battlefield. I also gain the extra life for Lumra being cast as a green spell. I'm gaining a bunch of life from this staff, so it's actually doing its job. It's doing great work. Now, what green creature would I like? This is the final turn, so let's just kind of zoom in on my hand. Here are my options. I got a Kogla, the Titan Ape, King Kong. 7/6, mana cost doesn't even matter because of the Norwood Priestess. When he enters the battlefield, he fights up to 1 target creature I control, so it could be removal in that way. Whenever he attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls, so it's just, more removal in that way. For 1 and a green, return target human I control to its owner's hand. Kogla gains indestructible until the end of turn. I'm actually not familiar if there are any humans. Possibly I have a Beast Whisperer. I'm pretty sure he's human. No, he's elf. Don't know if I have any humans. Terastodon, saw him last game. Tree Shaker Chimera, saw him last game. Decimator of Provinces is not a green creature, so I could not put that out with Norwood Priestess. I had a Hydra's Growth. If I had more mana, or more next turn, since I had a bunch of mana, I probably would have put this onto my Galta, because it's the big one with Trample right now. And an Argentum Armor. It's I just figured I have so much mana, I should be able to do the 6 cost, 6 equip, no problem. And just as a side note, Lumra was currently a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. So if I had a land that next turn, I could have cast and equipped Argentum Armor. This turn, I could for free get out, let's just say Tree Shaker Chimera. And yeah, that's kind of where I was sitting. We're just shy of half an hour, and that was game 2. So let's get this third game rolling. Yeah, I'm having fun. This is definitely just a fun mono green deck. At this point, I have a mono green, a mono blue, I have 2 mono white decks, and I am working on I know, even more decks. It's crazy. I'm working on a mono red deck and a mono black deck. For the most part, the mono black deck, I just need to find where I put all of the cards, because I had a bunch of them set aside just for the deck. And that's typically how it goes. I'll just start setting cards aside. And that one, it's honestly just kind of be a gross deck when it all comes together. Not quite sure of the focus yet, so I'll get there when I get there. But no, this is just my fun little mono green deck. I really also like my mono blue deck. It's flying and scrying and drawing and sphinxes. And it's fun. Okay. Let's see if this is a good hand. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's got a couple of lands. It's got a couple of options too. I think that looks great. Let's roll with it. 1. Draw. Forest. Tap. Elvish Mystic. Heck yeah. Turn 2. Untap, upkeep, draw. Land. Let's go Forest. For a land, we're elves. And then a green and 1 for a Malevolent Rumble. 1, 2, 3, 4. I really would like this Land War Tribe, so that goes to my hand. Let's go to turn 3. Untap. Upkeep, draw. Land for turn. Actually, I'll take that back real quick. Maybe, should I? Maybe I should. Let's go that land for turn. In a second. Green and 2. I guess I won't be able to do 2 things, but that's okay. Green and 2. Mossborn Hydra. It's worth it. It enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. Has Trample and Landfall. I double the number of 1/1 counters on it. Now I will play my land. So that hopefully makes more sense as far as why I was struggling. But still, I'm like, I could have done that maybe next turn and been even cooler. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's see it. Let me see if I actually can do this just a little bit cooler. Let's just do that land for turn. Tap 3. Land War Tribe. I think that's actually the better setup. Let's go to turn 4. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Land. Not land. What am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means tap 3. Mossborn Hydra. It enters with a counter. Landfall. Double its counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cast Lumra. This is feeling better. I'm glad that I did this. Okay, that's why we Goldfish. Get the mana out, mana base, just like that first game when I did all of that stuff before I got Lumra. So now I get Lumra. Mill 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that means that I am returning 1, 2, 3 lands from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped, which means 2 goes to 4, 4 goes to 8, 8 goes to 16. So 6, 12, 18, 17, 16. So now, Mossborn Hydra is a 16/16 trample. And it's only turn 4. Heck yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. Lumra is currently a 7/7. Turn 5. On tap. Draw. Land for turn. 16 goes up to 32. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 32. Man. Whew. I can do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, I can do this. 1, 2, 3. Staff of the Wild Mages, it came back. Could have done that first before the landfall, but it really doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cultivator of Blades. This has Fabricate 2, so I either make 2 1/1 colorless servo creatures tokens, or what I'm going to choose to do is put 2 1/1 counters on Cultivator of Blades. Whenever Cultivator of Blades attacks, I may have other attacking creatures get +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is Cultivator of Blades' power. And then I'm going to tap Land War Tribe, and just as a side note, Staff of the Wild Mages sees the Cultivator of Blades also sees this Hydra's growth being cast. So that puts another counter on Cultivator of Blades, and at the beginning of my upkeep, I double the number of 1/1 counters on the enchanted creature. Alright. Let's go ahead and swing 32/32 trample at somebody. Why not? Go to turn 6. On tap. I am top decking. So upkeep, draw. Land. Also, I forgot upkeep. I double the number of your counters. So you're now got 6 counters, you're a 7/7. When you attack, all of my other attacking creatures are getting +7/+7. Now that land, which I think that I should just... 32 means 64. There we go. I'm keeping track of this one. It's 64. Let me even have it a little bit more directly over. See if that helps. I think that does. So now, in a typical game of Commander, Mossborn Hydra can just one-shot if they haven't haven't gained enough life, or haven't got enough creatures to block. At the same time, I can swing all out. That one has Vigilance. That one's swinging. And the Cultivator of Blades will give each of my other attacking creatures +7/+7. So that's a 10/10, 2 8/8s. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 16/16 Vigilance. And then 64 + 7 is 73 Trample. Cool. One more turn. On top. funny enough, upkeep. That's 12 counters on Cultivator of Blades. And then I will draw. Terramorphic Expanse. See, sometimes having this much land really isn't great, but I have my reasons. I guess if I had a little bit more, of course, draw. I did mill that Harmonize, which was a little bit of a shame. But I also have, I guess, in a different deck, a Nissa that has an ability, Landfall, you draw a card. Or get you an emblem, Landfall, draw a card. That might just be what this deck needs, is something along those lines. But I'd have to take it out of where it is, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world. Anyways, that's kind of where I'm thinking. I really like how this deck works. It's exponentially getting more and more gross. That being said, Terramorphic Expanse brings you up to 128. And then if I were to crack it and search for a forest to enter the battlefield tapped, I would bring it up to 256. Yeah, so that's kind of where that's at. Any of these things where it's like double the blank of whatever whenever this happens, if you can get enough of them, like landfall triggers, it's really not that hard. As seen on TV. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys liked watching, because I definitely enjoyed playing for you. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will do the same. See you later.